Usual and Heidi ho everyone. Happy Tuesday to you, wherever you may be on God's green earth. Tuesday it is. That means it's what's that stuff called? Crypto Day. Crypto Day with Shukri. Shukri will be in a little bit later, of course, in about half an hour from now, and we'll see what's going on in the wonderful world of crypto trading. Mysterious world to me. It doesn't make any sense, but doesn't have to. I'll just let other people work that one out. Hi Jaira, how you doing? Happy to have you in, of course, as always. Let's take a look and see if we've got a breakout trade to trade today. We were still in yesterday's, as a matter of fact. Sharing screen now. Rightio. In fact, we're in both of those trades. We can only see one of those trades on this screen, but we are indeed, hi Paul P. We are indeed in two trades on the pound at the moment. One was the breakout. Well, sorry, I say we. You guys choose to do what you want, of course. And as I always say, this breakout trade is still very much in beta test mode, but this one seems to be going okay. I've got my stops at break even on that, having taken a TP1 at that level yesterday. Why that level? Because I think it was DR2 or just under DR2 or something like that, which of course is our rules when trading this way. I won't be trading a breakout today because the breakout is now pretty much in trend with higher highs and higher lows progressively, and for that reason we won't be trading a breakout. What we will be doing, however, is monitoring both the sort of target up here somewhere. Yes, I do. It's way up here actually. That's for the slingshot trade that we took yesterday, which was trading this bar here. TP1 of course is in the bank and should be trailing that for a break-even trade at worst. It's a little bit vulnerable, this one today, because we've got an untested daily pivot, I believe. I'm wondering, should we be taking more profit? We've obviously slipped through the medium-term highs. Here's our target here. Is it a bit too ambitious? We'll see. Seems to be in a bullish mood anyway. I'll reassess if we pull back underneath this level and may even get out. We'll see. But no breakout today because it is clearly already broken out. What else did we have to offer this morning? Trades. You guys might not be aware of the monthly trade on pound Kiwi. Now, a lot of you guys who have been around for quite some time with us will know that pound Kiwi is a pet of mine, and I see it going up to these areas here around about the 2.12, 2.2 area at some stage. That's the trade that I've currently got in the market. It's not a trade yet, it's just an order trading that bar there, and that's pretty clear entry for me. As you know, we've been trading this 3 or 4 times, trying to get it right up to here. Every time we get a little bit of a rally on, we seem to come back. We haven't lost anything on this, but we haven't gained much either, because our stops, of course, are fairly wide, given it's mostly a monthly chart or a weekly chart that we are trading. Please have a look at Eurocad. Jaira, I will, most definitely. I nearly traded that this morning, but I thought it was too high risk for me, given my very conservative way of trading. But there's the order if you wanted to follow that one. Pound Kiwi, it's a long, and simply we're trading the false break of the support trade line, which is pretty clear. Underneath, pardon me, consolidate, back above, retest, away we go. Well, hopefully away we go. And TP1 is at that level. TP2, I'm not sure what I'll do at TP2. If we get to TP2, it's up around here somewhere. We may look at this high, which is another couple of 100 pips away. Anyway, we've got to get into the trade yet. Possible slingshot long on Eurocad. Let me have a look at Eurocad. Eurocad, we're trading that on this chart. And what was I looking at this morning? Oh, yeah. Okay. Key reversal bar here, right? Now, I like key reversal bars, love key reversal bars, but I thought trading it into these lows was a very, very dangerous prospect. Yes, if it got through there, you've got a very clear TP1 to the bottom of that low test bar. But yeah, I just thought it was too risky. Yes, we're well in front here, and we're in our 5th month of trading this right now. So you can see how long it's taken to give us. What do we got? We've got stops at entry, I think. Yep. We've got 740 odd pips, which is only 1.5 to 1 because we obviously took a big stop loss into consideration. I said this one will probably be Christmas time before it unfolds. I'm hoping that's not the case, and I can see a clear target down here. But as far as today is concerned, now what are you looking at, Jira? Slingshot long at H4. Okay, let's have a look. H4. Righto, as far as trade lines are concerned, we've got a pretty clear, probably that one, which gives us a nice little slingshot candle pattern. We've got a higher low potential here off, that's interesting, off this bar, which may or may not be a right shoulder based on left shoulder, pardon me, head right shoulder, may or may not be. If that's the case, that becomes a neckline. And to trade long from here as a reversal, you probably want to see that break, come back and have a look at that level again, then go. As far as trading it now is concerned, don't see anything I really like. 5th and 6th bar will shoot up, 5th and the 6th bar. Okay, so you're looking at this entry, Jira, I'm imagining. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so the next two, you're looking for the next two to go. Yeah, look, entirely possible. But the way I would like to play this, if at all, would be to trade that bar as a real speculator. How much room have you got? So get yourself under DS1, make it a 36 pip risk. 16 reward, that's not too bad. 23 reward, that's not too dusty. Not a classic slingshot, I've got to say, but as you know, I do like to trade higher lows off reversals. Question is, do I have a reversal? I've got a potential reversal. 4-hour chart's telling me bullish engulfing, question mark, question mark. To engulf the body, yes. Is this the right shoulder? That's the question I have to ask myself. What's the pair? Eurocad. That's the exact support level I was talking about, isn't it? There. Because that does look left shoulderish, head right shoulderish. Look, I think it's probably worth a little speculator, Jira. Why not? And if you're tipping that the, hang on, I'll have a look at the smaller time frames, hourly. A little bit of a base there, isn't there? You're asking me to trade the first candle of London session, aren't you? You know, I don't do that. But it's a 4-hour candle I'm looking at, so I'm okay with it. All right, I'm going to place an order above this bar here. And I'm going to put my stop loss under daily support 1. This will be a hedge of kind, I suppose, given that we're in the short. So let's go with these levels. I'm not going to put too much on the table here. 0.25% tons. And if it does reverse and we do get a break of the neckline, the retest, we can scale back in then, or scale in then. Level, high of that bar, 146.63, let's say 65, 140, what did I say? 146.65, yeah. And the stop loss, DS1 is at, it's not going to tell me. Okay. There's DS1, 146.25 will do. So 40 pips of risk. And that's there. The stop loss is good. Entry is good. TP1. Will we go through the weekly pivot or will we take profit at the weekly pivot? What's the difference? 46.76 to 46.86, 10 pips. Why don't we go halfway? 46.91 will be TP1. I'll type that up for you guys if you want to follow. So it is Eurocad. The reason I'm okay with this is I do believe the CAD is at resistance, and I know oil's still going, but I do believe the CAD's due for a little bit of a rest. We were buying at 146, forgotten the number, 65, 1.46. I'll check that. Stop loss is at 1.4625. I think that would be right. And TP1 is at 1.4681. Can't hear anything. Why? Normally goes blonk with a big blonk. There's no blonk. It looks like it's in the market, so we just wait an entry on that one. Okay, so there we go. Your TP1 is daily pivot. I've gone in between. I've gone in between the monthly, the weekly and the daily. Just to, you know how conservative I am, Gyro. You just know I'm going to do something that's a little bit less obvious than that would be normally, or really the obvious part is to take it at weekly pivot and be a real coward, right? Anyway, there you go. There's the trade. Eurocad's a buy, and we'll leave it at that. I do have a few other things that I'll look at a little bit later, but it's time to say good day to Ash. Good day, bud.
Good morning, mates. How are you?
Oh, that's why I can't hear anything. Can you?
That might have been me. You need that there. I've got a trade, mate.
That's better.
I have got a trade. So shall I quickly set this up? Mm-hmm. And now it is a FTSE 100 long, and I am scaling in. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can, mate.
Okay, great. I'm just going to.
You guys could hear me before. My headphones weren't plugged in.
Oh, do you know? Interestingly, your sound is worse now than it was a minute ago.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
How now, Brown?
That's better. That's better. That's a bit better. Okay, so let me just do this. Yeah, decent numbers from the UK. So I'm scaling into this now. What I want to try and do. So I've already bought one position here. I'm gonna put in another order here at 70.64. Let me just double check that number's right. No, I don't want it there. I want it at 46.57. 55-ish. I'm going to put in another one here at 55. So now you got to be careful. Obviously, everybody just kind of make sure that that you can cover. I'm going to go in 3 times. So here's one here. I bought the open. It's coming down a little bit, but I'm still comfortable with taking it. And if we get entered in, then I will show you how we're going to manage it if we get into it, entered in these other ones as well. So I'm going to enter also at 70.55. Actually, let's call it 50. Yeah, I think it is 55. no, 57. 70.55, 70.57. Stop loss is under the 65.97. 69.97. Whoops. There's another one there. And then I'm going to put one more in. And my last position is going to be no, that's probably 47. Put one in there. Ooh, what I might do. It's going to shove this one up to 62. Shove that one up to 62 there. And my last position is going to be here at 46. Uh, 70.46. There we go. So I'm going to scale into this, mate. Targets on this, I am going to be out on all of these at 71.21. 71.21. Well done on the pound, by the way, buddy. Nice trade, that one.
At the moment. Yep, yep.
Oh, you still in, are you?
Yeah, yep.
Good job, mate. Good job. This is putting a bit of pressure. There's no doubt under on the FTSE. I'm just gonna set my orders in these other markets as well. 70.47. I'm just gonna fix up my other accounts.
G'day, Scalper Joe. How you doing, buddy?
70.47. And then finally coming down here to 70.22. 2022. Now, if they all get entered, then I will just try and aggregate them all off and try and take the one at the bottom. Now, good morning, Lewis. Now, the position, sorry, the stop loss is a emergency. You know, because what I don't want is this breaking down. Because really, you know, we're looking at this on a 15, if you like. So if it starts to break down these levels, then I really want to be all out. But I'm comfortable here. So this is an emergency. If it starts to break down here, that just gives me some time to have a look at it and see whether it's just a false breakout or whether it's actually looking like it could be something more significant. And I'll try and close a position down around about the daily pivot, or possibly here, depending on when it gets down there. If it's a little bit later in the day, that would look like an area to put a stop loss. So so this last one may not be under too much risk. I've just got one more thing to do here. So what did I say here? 62, 71, 61. I'm just going to place another order here. Oh, what's going on here? No, sorry, that's the wrong one. 71, 47. Oh, what am I doing? Oh yeah, sorry. 71, 47. Why has that not worked? Oh, 70, 47, 70. There we go. And then one more position in at 70, oops. 70.21. Right, it's the last one I need to do. $70.21, there we go. There we go. As I say, it's going to be. Now I've kind of I should have really set the take profit already, but I will be in front of the chart. So if this gets triggered, then I'll drag my take profit up. And as I say, the take profits are just up here at 71.21. What I'm trying to do with these ones is now you can manage it in any way that you choose. You don't even have to enter this trade if you don't believe in it, but I quite like it. So that's why I've put my orders in. I think there is some upside here. Now the upside may well be, now if this lower one gets triggered, and it starts to come up, what I'm trying to do here is just take first point of contact. So that may well mean that I'm going to close this position and this position, because that one effectively, it looks like that one may well act as resistance. It still could get up here. This is just the way that I've chosen to do it. It doesn't mean that I don't believe it's going to get here. It doesn't mean that I think you should trade it any other way. This is just the way that I've chosen to do it. I've chosen to try and take first point of contact. Now, hopefully, yeah, that looks all right. I'm not going to move it higher. This looks okay here, but I'm going to leave this here at the risk of not getting that second entry, because this, again, to my mind, is first point of contact. That's the breakout point. That's the point that would need to be retested. And if it doesn't retest this area, then the chances are it's probably going to see this area before retesting this area, probably making this area more significant. Lots of stuff going on though, mate. I don't know. Did you read the Australian monetary statement?
No, I didn't, mate. I haven't. As a matter of fact, I got bogged down in the bottom paddock this afternoon, so I've really not looked at anything until 1 minute before I got on here. I was rushing.
Right. Yeah, I had a good look at it. And
what did they say?
Do you know what? Everything, pretty much most of it anyway is tailwinds. They sounded very happy.
Yeah, look, the politicians are going off their heads. They reckon everything's as rosy as it can be, and all the rest of it. So
yeah,
my great concern is not for now, but the longer term view that I had of the economy being in great shape and recovering out of COVID, et cetera, has now been tainted somewhat by the budget that was delivered last week. And we spoke about that last week.
Yeah.
I thought that they overcommitted themselves, frankly. For Australia to go into $1 trillion worth of debt is just follow the leader, And,
you know what, mate? I mean, I get what you're saying, but do you think there's a case to be made? When I had a look through yesterday, I was just having a look through some of these economies, the debt, because this is sort of like a conversation about debt, and I was looking through a lot of the debt, and notably, New Zealand and Australia are well within their debt threshold of GDP.
Point. Yes, at this point.
But they're well within it. It's not like they're a little bit below it. They're well within it. I think, what's the debt in Australia? 27% of GDP?
I'm not sure if it's crept up a little bit, but yeah, it's in that ballpark. Yeah.
It's in that ballpark, and probably from an Australia's perspective, it sounds scary because they're so good at being, under the level. But when you consider the States is over 100%, the UK is over 100%, the Eurozone is kind of close to those levels. That is enviable. If the UK could say that they've got 27% of debt to GDP, they'd be. I don't know what they'd be doing. They'd probably be running down the street naked. It's just a very enviable position to be in. It's a brilliant number. I thought it was a brilliant number. But after reading it, I mean, obviously this new borrowing that you're talking about is going to push that elevate that number, but they're still well within it. I mean, I still think they're going to be well below 50%. And when I started looking at it, I thought, actually, Australia and New Zealand are probably the only two economies that I can find in the majors. And I have to say, I didn't look at the Swissy in enough detail, but certainly of most of the majors that I have already looked at, it looks in much better shape to be able to raise interest rates than anybody else. Nobody else looks in the same kind of situation and position to comfortably raise interest rates without putting their governments in huge problems. Whereas I look at Australia and I think, well, actually, the government can probably withstand a bit of interest rate hiking here.
Yeah, look, no argument except to say that it's too reliant on one thing at the moment, and that one thing is the commodity price, in particular iron ore. So
yes,
if suddenly China were to say, look, we don't need any more iron ore for the next 3 years, the price drops out of that. If the price dropped out of copper, probably not going to happen anytime soon. But if moving towards the $1 trillion worth of debt, which is I think forecast for 2025 or something like that, if just any of those little hurdles crop up in the meantime, then that picture changes very, very rapidly, in my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Because we are so reliant on those resources. Now, that's my concern.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I suppose the other thing to watch out for there is the bottleneck in supply, because there does seem to be a bottleneck in supply, which is obviously again pushing those commodity prices substantially higher. But I just don't see it changing. I don't, is there going to all of a sudden be a glut of supply and demand is going to be shrinking? It doesn't look like it's going to be the case. And if you think about what's happened over in India, when India come back online, surely that means that supply can pick up again. I mean, I haven't done enough in going back through historical graphs. The really clever people that can go back and say, and this is how this relates to this, and they show you on the graph. I haven't done enough of that. I've done a bit of it, over a particular period, in relation to things that I trade, but not on a kind of broader scale. And I'd really like to see that. I'd really like to see, what is the supply? How undersupplied are we, and what kind of supply does India normally take up? And what sort of demand does India normally take up, and what's the demand currently in India? Because if the case is that all that will happen is the baton gets passed from one economy to the next, and we're talking about a huge economy. 6% of global GDP is made up by India, which is no mean number. If the baton gets passed from China to then on to India, without China coming completely offline, that would suggest commodity prices have got a bit further to run.
Yeah, and this was widely predicted. I think I spoke about this in relation to coal.
Yeah,
going back a couple of years, where I know people in the coal industry, of course, and coming from a coal mining town. And that word was very much the go back in, let's say, where are we, 2015, 16, where as soon as India ramped itself up, and now that's hit a hurdle, of course, with coal, it will make the demand out of China look like, kids stuff.
Yes.
So that hasn't really, to my mind, or to the best of my knowledge, come to be or come to fruition. But you're absolutely right. If they get hungry for commodities, then anything can happen. That's true.
Yeah,
and Australia very well placed for that, of course.
And then this is, I'm finding it very difficult to make a case for the downside for the Aussie. Now, I'd love to, because I've got the Aussie yen short, and I continue to hold that.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult.
I'm trying to help you there. I'm trying to give you a slant on it.
Well, it needs somebody to sit on that Australian economy. The one sort of thing that was mentioned was that the CPI data was still not in the region that they'd like it to be, and I suppose it's more pointing towards the consumer, and also average earnings being weak, which actually brings us on to what's happened in the UK today. The unemployment numbers from the UK were a lot better. However, average earnings were down quite quite a lot. So and that was, I suppose, inevitable, because what happened with average earnings popping to the upside was that there was a part of the economy that just weren't able to work, i.e. those lower paid workers weren't able to work during the pandemic. They were the ones most hit, which meant that the average earnings would have gone up, because the ones that remained in their jobs were the higher paid workers. But now we get back to the gig economy, if you like, or certainly the leisure and hospitality industries. Then inevitably, with those workers coming back online, then the average earnings will start to decrease somewhat. So I think
retail sales will go up. On the other hand, I suppose, now that you've started to open up again a little bit more than prior. Yeah.
Well, this is going to be the interesting dynamic to watch. Is what is the fear out there for interest rate hikes? Because people will be watching this stuff, and okay, there are going to be a lot. The everyday person won't be necessarily aware of the minutiae of what's going on with CPI data, but it's reported on the news, and a lot of people will watch the 7, 8, or 9 o'clock news, and when inflation is mentioned, will they start thinking we need to tighten our belts? And that's always the danger, with adding monetary stimulus into an economy, is that the money that goes through isn't spent. So possibly, we are going to need to see whether the retail sales picture does pick up significantly enough, because, as you say, that will give us a genuine look on the mindset, or give us a genuine look into the mindset of the consumer. Where's the consumer at? And at this stage, I don't think we've got enough detail on that. So yeah, it's very much, as you said, that the government in Australia seemed to be quite bullish, and certainly the RBA statement was pretty bullish, right across the board. Okay, it mentions certain areas of world economics which could be struggling, but right across the board they're pretty bullish. The UK seems to be the same, and I think the States seems to be the same. There's definitely a little bit of slowing down. I'm really interested in what happens next to some of the PMIs. Now we're still a couple of weeks away from the significant ones in the States, but I am interested in those. The unemployment number wasn't quite as good in the States, so is there a potential slowing? Has the slowing started? Possibly, I don't know, but are people tightening up? And if they are, then those retail sales numbers probably won't be quite as buoyant as we expect. So all the numbers are really interesting at the minute. I wonder whether we are in this transition phase that may just keep people. I don't know. I mean, they've been bitten, haven't they? If we consider what's happened to during this pandemic, some people lost their jobs, some people were on reduced pay, some people on furlough. Do they start going, I don't want to be there again?
Some people in Australia are actually getting far more than they were usually being paid, which is kind of weird. But
yeah, but
I don't know if that was the case around the world, but it certainly was.
It probably was, mate. It probably was. But there's certainly the people at the lower end of the economy. Will there be enough concern for them to go, I don't want to be there again? Let's make sure that we do actually, bury some nuts in the garden, to make sure that we can eat through the winter again. Because
yeah, maybe,
and so I don't know. It's interesting. It really is an interesting point in time. And I'll tell you why I think it's most significant right now, because let's not forget that May the 14th date. I know we're 3 days beyond that right now, and we're still pushing to the upside, but there are jitters. Okay, we haven't seen an absolute tanking crash yet, but there are jitters. And also, Mitch, have you noticed that there's hardly any weight that is going on with the Israel crisis that's happening?
Any weight? That, as in the market's not putting any weight on it?
No, the media. Or America, okay. Even, what Biden's come out and sort of said, I think there should be a ceasefire, but there's not really much. There doesn't seem to be sort of like much scrambling to kind of sort that situation out. Who knows what that could turn into? I'm always concerned when there's any kind of outbreak anywhere, because I always kind of go back to the First World War, where an almost kind of seemingly but almost a benign thing. Franz Ferdinand kind of being shot all of a sudden triggers this world war, which looks like just a regional issue. So I'm always a little bit concerned, but that doesn't mean that we should get into fear mongering, because these things are happening all the time and they don't really turn into anything huge.
Especially in the Middle East.
Especially in the Middle East. But I'm surprised. I am surprised though, mate. I'm surprised at how quiet the media's been on it and how quiet the commentary from some of the world leaders has been on it.
I guess they've got other fish to fry at the moment, mate. But yes, it could escalate into something. Hopefully not. But who am I to say? I really don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'm the same as you, but I'm still trading with an element of caution. I'm long FTSE, but this is why I'm coming out at the earliest possible scenario, because I've got no real confidence in anything. Shukri is in the room. Well, I'm fascinated.
Shukri in, Ash out. It looks like Ash has gone to freeze mode by the look of it. But there you go. He starts talking about wars and he gets. I shouldn't say things like that. G'day, Shukri. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing good.
Are you? You're now in the buy zone. I take it. Have you got enough retracement yet?
You can buy, or you can either sell your cryptos and put it in Bitcoin and just wait. There's another way to do it. Rather than treating as a crypto, just treat it as a currency.
What's it done today, mate? Has it continued?
It's gone up today. It's doing
okay.
Yeah, it's doing very well today. But let's see, But again, for those who believe in conspiracy theories and seasonals, there is a seasonal pattern. I think this was already mentioned in Jim Cramer's CNBC, and you guys should know it. And it's related to the S&P. And it's about Memorial Day. Memorial Day is bullish. So the 2 weeks leading into summer are actually very, very bullish. So that should bring some degree of bullishness back into the market. But that's after Memorial Day, which is the final weekend, right? Yeah, that's the final weekend of this month.
And then it goes quiet? Is that the theory?
And then there will be a summer rally. So, May has not been good, surprisingly, but that's okay. But it really depends on where you are. And this is why I say that this year is different from the other years. It's very different. It's the same, but it's very different. Let me show you. Where's Ash? Where did he go to?
Where have I heard that before? Ash has had a little bit of an issue. Here, he's coming back. He's coming back. Here he is.
Cool. Let me show you a tale of many cryptos. And this is
sorry about that, guys.
Okay. Let me show you a tale and a chart of many cryptos. Let me put it there. Yeah, that should be that. Okay.
Yeah, we need some insight, mate. The vultures are gathering, aren't they? Am I right in saying that?
Yes and no, depends on where you are. Okay, now on the one hand, you see this. This is on the one hand, you see this. Okay, Bitcoin is undergoing a correction. Ethereum is undergoing a correction. And if you look at Peter Brand here, which is very famous, maybe I should get into natural gas now. Look at that. Look at that. The gold Bitcoin, hey, it popped up.
Oh, go on, gold. Go on.
Inverse head and shoulder. Yeah, this is like a major pattern. But look here. This is how Bitcoin is. Look, I mean, he's done a good job of looking at all these patterns here. But let's see this. How do we go here? Yeah, this one. So he's actually gone and actually did all the research on the high to low and when it went back to a high again. And look at all these corrections: 37, 34, 41, 39, 30. So at 32, it's normal.
Okay.
If one was experienced in cryptocurrency investing and in Bitcoin. So some of us don't feel it. Some of us are on edge. I truly get that because I was watching Gordon's show and he said a correction is 10%. I don't know, for the FTSE, is it 10% for the index?
Well, I mean, a bear market would be 20% below its high.
Yeah, correct.
So, a correction, I suppose. I mean, I don't know how you define a correction. A correction to me is anything. It depends on what time frame you're on, doesn't it? So, anything above 20%, I think, is a correction. Anything below would be a bear market.
Correct. Because for crypto people, 10%, you're like, we'd be laughing on the floor. Are you serious? Get out of the bar. You're banned from the bar forever. Because when you're in crypto, when you're trading some of the alts, you should be able to withstand drawdowns up to like 50, 60%. And I have seen even drawdowns up to 90%, believe it or not, make an all-time high on the next cycle. And let me show you this market. This market is weird market. And I had already been bringing this up. I said, this is weird. Because usually when Bitcoin goes down, the other cryptos go down more. It's normal. Yeah. But this is quite an abnormal market because the other cryptos are not going down as fast. Hence, I was expecting to see that. You know that? This is the Bitcoin dominance. So look at the last bull cycle here. As Bitcoin went down, then the other cryptos went down, and then it hit here, and then it went up, right? So look at this. It's just going down and down and down and down. So probably this one was 32, 33. So I think when it hits 32, 33, we should have another correction back up and then down again like this. So you can see a lot of other cryptos still going up despite Bitcoin's heavy correction, which is why a lot of people are kind of not feeling it, unless you were trading the bigger coins, Ethereum and Bitcoin only. But if your portfolio was kind of diversified into the bigger coins, and let me show you this. This is going to be weird. Look at that. So we have Bitcoin here falling, like 32%. Okay, this is like within normalcy. Ethereum fell down to 3,000 or 3,081. This is normal because whenever I didn't draw the RSI here, but whenever Ethereum is at over the RSI, it has been shown historically to fall 25%. So it's done that.
Ah, that's interesting. When you say, do you mean in overbought territory or beyond that? Like when it's embedded overbought?
RSI. And this has done it like time and time again. This is, where is this thing? Is this it? Indicators and strategies. Is it? Can I see the RSI here? Yeah, I should see the RSI. It was overbought for quite some time. Let's see here. Yalla, look at that. Look at that.
Right. So do you know what? And this is where I find this stuff. I love the RSI. It's my favorite indicator. When the RSI gets beyond 70, when it's embedded like that, that is the most dangerous point in time.
Yes.
Because this is where you get a heavy pump, heavy dump, right?
Yes.
But my question to you is, you're on a daily chart there. Right. What does it look like on the monthly?
Let's see. Yeah. So this was already to be expected, so it's done its thing.
Look at that.
It's still going up. It's still going up.
Yeah. And it's embedded, right? I mean, this is where I get a bit concerned, because when I look at that bar that is currently on Ethereum, that bar's halfway towards the top and halfway towards the bottom. Now, if that ends up towards the bottom with an RSI embedded, that could suggest an almighty move down.
Yeah, they could. Yeah. Yeah, technically, but you know how long these guys can go, right? Look at that.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
And this went for a very long extended move.
True.
And if you look at this cycle, okay, let's look at the cycle again. Let's look at this. I don't know where this was, but it's like 2 years up, 2 years down. 2 years up, 2 years down. If in the overall bigger cycle of things. So this still has, I don't know, another year to go. That's how I would read it, at least on this.
Right.
But if you look at the daily, it's normal. When you see it overextended, you look every single time, measure that 25. This not so, but it still went down. This 25. This not so, but eventually 25.
Yeah.
It always does that without fail. I mean, this is why I think cryptos the patterns in cryptos, once you know it, is extremely reliable. Now, they differ from crypto to crypto, but the template is there.
Yeah.
The template is just there, and it just follow. And why this is, Ash, is that every wallet is this, right? Every wallet is visible to everyone. It's not
Right.
like, I know we have the COT and CFTC, but
Yeah.
but I don't think the guys in Ukraine, is Ukraine a wheat producer, or Russia are reporting the wheat positions. It's only the States, right?
Yeah,
So,
well, it's the CF. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
right. So just imagine that someone in wheat or someone in sugar, where the Brazilians and the US guys and the Thai guys and the Indian guys also report, instead of only the US guys. Because now what sometimes that I see in COT, when I always see something like overextended, like sugar, where the commercials are extremely negative, it goes on for some more because you don't have the data from all around the world.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like COT is accurate, but there's a lag.
You're absolutely right, mate. But do you know the other interesting thing about the COT data is that all it's saying to you is that they believe the danger is in the opposite direction. It doesn't mean that they're clearing out the market. It just means that they're positioning to themselves just in case, because they are the commercials, so they are always selling.
Yes,
so when they've got to their break even or better point, they know that they can supply the profits to their shareholders or whoever for the year. So that's when they start to hedge, more heavily. They're not hedging because they think it's going down. They're hedging because they think, okay, the danger right now is to the downside, so let's make sure we get enough positions in to make sure we're covered.
And if
it goes up, they're laughing because they're still selling at a higher price.
Yeah. So
the COT data can be a bit misleading for that.
Yes,
do you know what concerns me though, Shukri? It doesn't concern me, but what I find interesting is that now I don't know whether anybody can say for sure why Bitcoin did come down, but it does appear to be about Elon Musk.
Yeah, it is.
Now, if Bitcoin has collapsed because some guy has said indeed, then that suggests to me that there are some really not only unsophisticated but very weak hands that are holding that particular commodity or that currency, and that they need to get shaken out.
Yeah.
How much weakness is still there? How many more weak hands are still there? When you consider the parabolic move, there are probably a lot of those guys that are like, you know what? If it starts to come down, I'm just taking my money.
Yeah. I think this is the line in the sand around 40 here. I think it was an inverse head and shoulder here. Let me see. I'm sure I did see it. Let's see this. Your favorite pattern. I
do love it.
Head and shoulder, man. I found it. The daily chart. Yeah, there. It's like beautiful. This is the daily. Yeah, something like that.
There's a lot there. There's a lot of patterns there, aren't there? Patterns within patterns.
So 50 to 64. This is what? 51 to 64. 1338. Here. This zone.
So do we like? So do we still like Bitcoin?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we still like it. Okay, so we're still.
But use it more. This is why I don't like to trade it, but I do keep my profits in Bitcoin or Ethereum, because when it goes up, usually I don't have time to buy or sell, so I don't need to manage this really. But this is a long-term position. But when you talk about what is happening now in terms of development, this is not like 2017, 2018, when only Ethereum was doing the development. A lot of other blockchains are doing the development. So you see a different market there. Look at this. While all of this was happening, look at that. Solana is at an all-time high. Kusama is at an all-time high.
Oh, is it? Good.
Yeah.
I better have a look at my account.
I know. It's like, what's happening? Something is happening now. Let me tell you what's happening here. Solana is now coming up with IDOs. Okay, Sol Starter and Solanium is already coming up. And to participate, you need to buy Solana. So it's becoming like Ethereum, right? You got to do it. You like it or you don't like it, you got to buy it. Now, the second thing is, when you talk about airdrops, the best blockchain is not Ethereum, it is Solana. And I saw an airdrop just now, which is very interesting because they said that to fight the robots, they said that in order to get this airdrop, we may, which I'm sure, which I hope they will. And it goes through all the airdrops because this is the best one for airdrops. We may ask you to put in 0.1 Solana. So can you imagine, like, if 250,000 people sign up for this airdrops, because in any airdrop, 250,000 people sign up, and for them to get it, they pump in 0.1 Solana there, boom. Regardless of what this guy is doing, hence explaining this mystery. This was a mystery, you know, like, this is not supposed to happen. When markets go down, Bitcoin dominance would go up. That was the rule. Okay, this is not the rule now. It depends situationally. Now, this is Kusama. Again, why is Kusama going up? Because the parachain auctions are going to be launched. The first one was launched today. It's called State Mint. It is a common good parachain. Okay, so that means you can't go in. They did it. They didn't do it for money. They do it for the common good for you and I, because we can stake a lot of things in State Mint, including CBDCs, which I find quite interesting. So now people are getting excited. Now, in order to go into a Kusama crowd loan, you need to have Kusama. So again, people are buying, regardless of what's happening here. People don't care. See that?
So do I? When do I get my airdrop, or do I have to write a letter to Santa?
Yeah, soon, not now. Soon.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, because they announced the first one. They announced the first one already, but we can't go in because that is for the common good of the people. That's not supposed to be a business enterprise kind of thing. But it was announced today, yeah. So you see another pop up. People are waiting. So this is what is very, very tricky in crypto nowadays. You have to find the right narrative. The difference in 2017, it was all Bitcoin and Ethereum. There's nothing else. Others were like pretenders, right? They you know, you had to verify if the news was even fake news. Okay, and now this is one thing. Now another thing that I saw today, which really surprised me, that look at this, crypto companies now are going on the NASDAQ. I'm like, what? Okay, look at this, Deeper.
Wow.
Deeper Network here, to launch an IPO of limited NFTs for equity subscriptions. That means you buy an NFT here, and this is actually equity in their NASDAQ listing. So
I like that.
Yeah, that's like, hey, where did this come from? But that's super cool. That's why now crypto is just so multi-dimensional. Now it's clearer, right? So here's the deal. I'm lucky because I got into Deeper and at the IDO level. So I'm sure they'll offer us holders the subscription here first before they offer you guys. So here's the deal. I went into an IDO. I already made multiple times here. With this, now I can even go into an IPO. I'm like, wow. Plus here, look at what else do I get here? Okay, now here's the deal. I'm to an IDO. I wanted to sell this. It's good gains. Now with this, okay, I'm not going to sell. I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold now, because now, as Brian and the gang knows, crypto is this. If it's depressing you, what do? You stake it. Go find somewhere to stake it. Okay, where is it? I can't find this. Okay, I think it's this. Yeah, see, stake. You can earn money while staking. So you see that, you see people very depressed here. You see people very happy here. And you see people here saying, duh, what are you guys talking about? I don't know anything. I'm about to get an IPO. And then this is my account for the past 5 months, like 526%. So that's why I said if you are in the traditional way of doing things and looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, it is not good. But again, finding those narratives are quite is extra work. And of course, now who is suffering is not only these guys, it's also the shit coins like, you know, Shiba Inu and all that. That's because Vitalik Buterin, you know, they gave him a lot of tokens, all the shit coins like the dog coins, which we'll talk about in tomorrow's show. So you gotta be careful of the dog coins. And then he sold it all and gave it to India for vaccine.
Wow.
Well, that's good, right?
Yeah.
That's good, I know. But yeah, he rug pulled everyone, man. You couldn't have gotten out. It went like, everything crashed in 50% in like a couple of minutes. You know, you couldn't get out. You could not get out. There was no more liquidity. He just pulled it out. That's it.
Right. Yeah, and I suppose that's the other thing about you've got to be able to stomach that stuff, haven't you? If you're going to get into
you have to. And look at this. This is normal, guys. This is normal. This is normal. Look at that. Look at this. These, you can say that it's less volatile now. Compare this to these.
Yeah.
But again, having said that, I just want you to show that. I want to show you guys that there are others that are hitting the all-time highs. Even Polkadot has hit its all-time high, corrected, and now it looks like it's going back up again. So it depends on where you are, which is why I say that teaching crypto is very tricky. Because if you stick to the same thing,
well, I suppose that's the key, isn't it, mate? It's a very new market, so inevitably it's still trying to find its reality. It's find its normal. There isn't really a normal. Okay, we've had a normal for a few years' time, but I don't think you really know the way something's moving until, 5 years is one of the rules in stocks, really, that trading anything or buying anything before a company is 5 years old is something that some stock traders won't do. Now, I don't subscribe to that because I think, if you can get into a decent IPO and you can check the numbers, then you can make a lot of money. But I do understand the kind of 5 year idea just to kind of like allow something to evolve. And there's a lot of coins that are not 5 years old yet, right? I mean, I would have thought the majority of coins probably aren't 5 years old.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, did I hear that Coinbase has come back to its entry price?
Yeah, original price. 250, right? 250. Oh, Crystal said, So Vitalik did even worse. He donated 10% of the 1 billion he sold to COVID. He burned the rest. That's cruel. Give it to me.
He burned the rest.
He burned the rest. I mean, see, he just destroyed it. He just sent it to an address that didn't exist and it's gone forever. Shows you
Coinbase opened at $382. It's currently at $248.
Yeah, the reference is like 250, right, or something that they kind of priced it somewhere there. So
okay.
Yeah, so so that's why I said that's in the traditional Bitcoin thing. Now, Ajire said, what do I think of decent, another better than Ethereum blockchain protocol? Okay, this is an interesting question. I'll tell you what I think. It doesn't matter what I think. In this world where there are companies are mostly less than 2 years old, now there are deeper that are more, so they're going to the NASDAQ, so I'm happy, but those are few and far between, and even Flow could go to the NASDAQ because they're raising capital like mad, but those are few and far between. But for the rest, it matters what people say. Now, there was an IDO on Cardano that was out. Again, see, when the IDOs come out, all these Cardanos and these Solanas and these Kusamas will move up. I chose not to go in today. I wrote a message to the group. Now, this is why. Because it is not being approved by a launch pad. A launch pad is like an exchange that is listing IPOs, So it didn't do that.
Well, so Cardano had an IPO today.
Yeah. It was called Revuto. I decided not to go in because it didn't go to the centralized mechanism, which is a launch pad. I wanted to go to the launch pad because rather than me evaluating it, I want others to see it too. Because others see it too. And then, because if a launch pad sees it, and under the launch pad group, there's usually like 250,000 people, 250,000 people see it. I see it. Many people see it. Is it real or not? It doesn't matter, right? It will probably go up. But if the group is only seeing it, I would rather not go into it.
I see. So it's only the Cardano community. I mean, I'm on the Cardano community, and I don't know why I haven't seen it.
Yeah, and you know why? And look, when they announced this, they kind of like, hey, maybe there's more IDOs happening on Cardano. What happened to Cardano? It went up too. So you're like, hey, what's happening now? That is why this is what's happening. The IDOs are in town. And once people see this, they don't care what's happening to Bitcoin or Ethereum, because Bitcoin and Bitcoin has no IDOs, obviously, but Ethereum is like the old story, because what's happened? Okay, let me tell you what supported Ethereum before this, because Polkadot is not ready, so we've got to blame Polkadot for this. Guess what? They were using Ethereum, right? We had to go into Polkadot IDOs to go into Ethereum, but with Polkadot launching now, I think in the future, we'll have to buy Polkadot and Kusama. But look at Cardano, see? And even
Cardano's had a great run. I mean, I think it was interesting actually when the Elon Musk tweets kind of came out about Bitcoin. People seemed to be then flooding towards Cardano because it was a supposed green currency, and I think Hoskins also tweeted something to Elon Musk about you ready to chat basically, and Cardano did see a pop. What I find interesting about the Cardano pop is that the drop in Bitcoin initially and the pop in Cardano seem to be still about the tweet. Now, inevitably, that stuff's transient, and when it calms down, what happens to the likes of Cardano? I think it could come down. I mean, that's an evening star there. I'm looking at Cardano to come down to around about the 150. I know it's tested it once, but I don't know whether it's tested it. Do I have a calculator? I can certainly get one, yeah.
A pattern of Cardano, and we saw this. It says that once the open interest is up, it goes down by like 23%. Okay, what is this? I don't know what the high here. Let's do another pattern here.
250, I think, isn't it?
Is it? Yeah, but maybe it's 250. Get out. Yeah, okay, 250. Okay, what's 250 minus 25%?
Minus 25%. Okay, well, 25% of 250 is 0.62. So it'd be around about 190, 185.
Yeah. So people were asking where I would do. Well, again, this is not financial advice, but it would mean I would just put a buy order there.
Yeah, well, 190. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I still like Cardano. I still really like it.
And remember that Cardano has 2 launch pads, okay? So for the other one that is coming out like this, okay, I know you're early, but why didn't you launch to the 2 Cardano launch pads? And that's what I'm asking.
What's that?
Because
because the coin.
This coin RV is doing it by itself, right?
Right.
But I'm saying like, hey, why don't you go through this? Because they will the DUD, and they will determine whether you are market ready. And
right. Interesting, mate.
Interesting, but you can see this ecosystem coming up. It will struggle until Gogan comes out in September, right? Which is late again, Ash, late again. He did it again. We trusted him, and he did it again.
I tell you though, mate, he's very meticulous. I quite, you know what? I mean, it's funny, isn't it? He's very divisive in a way that he does divide people's opinion, but I really like the fact that he's so almost overly cautious.
I know, he's so cautious, like he delays things.
Guys, I'll just let you know, I am closing half of what I've got left on pound now.
Great, mate.
42.
What's happening with it? Is it going up or down?
42.02. No, it's just hit 142, mate, and that's not far away from DR3. So I'm just taking a little bit off. That's all.
Well, we're in the second FTSE trade as well, so I could do with a pound coming down to help the FTSE out a little bit. To be fair,
don't be surprised if it does.
Yeah, well, I'm okay with that. I still like it. Yeah. So anyway, I suppose we probably should have a whole show on. We probably should have a whole show on Charles Hoskins one day, maybe. But I do like his caution. But Ethereum's interesting, isn't it? Because the way that he talks about Ethereum, it's like they're just a bunch of cowboys that are just kind of like throwing caution to the wind and just launching stuff without testing it. Well, of course, it can't be quite like that. These guys they've got some clever guys within Ethereum that.
Ethereum, Ethereum is terrible. I couldn't do anything the past 3 weeks, just too expensive, killing me. Totally.
Right.
But Ethereum, what's keeping it up is London in July.
Right.
So they're going to have the fork, London fork, which could bring the fees down, and they're going to say they're already going to phase out the miners by end of the year.
Does that put pressure on the likes of Polkadot and Cardano?
I don't think so, because well, Ethereum is not as bad as Cardano and Polkadot, but Ethereum has been known to delay things also.
Okay, so let's say they don't delay it. Let's say they don't delay it, and those gas fees do come down. At that point, will it put pressure on the supposed Ethereum killers?
It will, because there's so many developers inside of Ethereum. But that's why when you talk about Cardano and Polkadot, they already have bridges that allow you to port their applications onto here. Yeah.
But why would you, if the gas fees, all of us, because one of the reasons you'd go to Cardano or Polkadot is because of the gas fees, right?
Okay, there are two issues here. Gas.
Yeah.
The other one is speed.
Okay.
You know, what they're doing now is Ethereum 2.0, and they did it last year. This will take 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, so it started late last year. It's still a way off. It's still way off.
Okay. Okay. So the speed is still going to be slower than both Cardano and Polkadot.
The good thing is this is going to be resolved, because it just got silly, where, you know, if you went into an IDO, you just wanted to buy like $250 worth of token, I had to pay like $320 worth of gas. That's
right.
That's super stupid. I paid $350 worth of gas last week. Last night I paid only 24. So it's like, so I'm glad that Ethereum did this. Now I'm gonna have to get out of my pools before it go up again. Otherwise, I'm like Hotel California. I can't get out. It's just interest, but I can't get out. Like,
okay, mate. Well, not to keep you anymore, unless you got anything else that you wanted to add.
No, that's it. But but just want to tell. Conclusion is that just know that this is normal. But if you know the latest narrative, then you say like, what? Do we have a correction? Are you like? The latest ones, you know, because I think now is more than about Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Okay. Now I want another conversation about NFTs at some point. Not now, because I think it's a whole other time. But
it's changing, right? I'm surprised. I'm surprised that now I can get an IPO through this. I'm like, what is this? But I think this is a good use case. I will subscribe to this most definitely. But this is something really new, and I hope that Flow does this also, because I have the token. I know that they're going to go on the NASDAQ, and please do this so that I can just buy it and subscription here and subscribe here. That's cool. This is 100 million. 50,000 NFTs at 2,000 is 100 million. And already their group is, you know, people are saying, where is it? Take my money.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I think is this, right? You talk about crypto and all these things, but at the end of the day, it's like we still yearn for the old world, like gold and like traditional IPOs, so that we can talk more to Ash on traditional IPOs.
Well, do you know what? I love this NFT space. I'm actually much more interested in NFTs than I am cryptos. You know, my interest has spiked in NFTs. And I'd like to know a bit more about what's the development. You know, where are we going with that next? So maybe we'll talk about that next week.
Next week, and this will be more on the business NFTs.
Brilliant.
I'm not talking about Pokemon. Okay, Pokemon is a different thing.
So we don't need to know about NRL players yet, mate, for NFTs?
No, they're still minting. Yeah, they're still minting. But we'll talk about more the business side of it, because that's real world stuff. That is real world. That there is a value. Like this is a value. Like here, right? I buy for 2,000, and who's here? Yeah, Crystal does analysis, say this can go up by 50%. Okay, then I'm going to sell it to Crystal at 35%, right? I can sell it at 35%.
What a wheeler and dealer you are.
See, I'm still leaving her 15% upside, okay? Based on the analyst report. But if it doesn't hit that, I don't know. Just read that analyst. Don't blame me. Blame the analyst.
Okay, so all right, we'll get to NFTs next week. Now, Now, so let's wrap it up, mate. I don't know where you are, Jeff, with wrapping up your stuff. I've got one update to make on the FTSE trade, but only if people are in it. I'm not gonna update it unless people are in it, because it's not complicated, but it's something that's that's going to take a bit of explanation. So I won't waste everybody's time. Well, only if somebody tells me that they're in the trade, then I'll go through it. If they're not, then I will just manage it myself, and we'll leave that. So I don't think anybody else is in it, which is fine. So what about you, mate? Have you got anything to update?
Yeah, I'm just taking first profit now on what's it called? Eurocad that we took earlier.
Yeah.
So we're now trading that one for free. I took that at 46.80 instead of 46.81, but it's right on the weekly pivot, which is why I did. Let's just update that, I suppose.
Oh, Lewis is in a short. Okay, mate, no worries. Then you are not managing the same as me anyway, so all good, mate.
Okay, so there we've taken profit there. Gyra's got a profit level at daily pivot. He's more courageous than me, but we're 1 pip shy of our take profit, which was there. So stop loss now has to move to 15 from entry, which was 46.50. Now that's got to go to, just to make that one safe. Okay, so that one's now tucked away. Pound CAD on this account, I don't think has triggered. No, that hasn't triggered yet. What else do we have? We want an opinion on CAD Swiss, is that right? Yes, from Gyra. Hang on 2 secs. Why haven't I got CAD Swiss on here? That was on my watch list, wasn't it? Or was that last week? Weekly key reversal. Ah, yes, we had a big bar. Let me have a look at that. CAD Swiss. CAD Swiss, where are you? Couldn't be that far down, surely. There it is. Okay, so just going backwards for a little bit, we had a key reversal bar, as I said, but I couldn't trade that bar because the bar's too big, obviously, and you're trading into the monthly pivot. So that was a no for me, but would have been happy to get a lower high. That was what we were searching for, right? So we've got the double top. We've got bugger all to trade on that chart anyway, but maybe on the 4 hour. No, not there yet. Maybe on the 1 hour. Not getting any help, Gyra. I've got nothing to trade off, mate. Gonna have to wait. Hopefully there's a big bounce off here, off these pivots, and we get back up to here somewhere. I'm wishing for a lot here, aren't I? Can't see it happening. My bias is bearish. That's about all I can tell you at the moment. I haven't got anything to get me into the market at all. If I had another high here, I could play a false break, but it's not there. So I will preface my opinion with, or I'll summarize my opinion actually with this. It's a waiting game. So maybe bounce up to here, get above it, back below it, and then go. The pivots are a bit of an issue though. Yeah, I'm not wrapped in it. I do like this. This is looking good. That looks pretty cool. So I think we're on the right track here with our bias, but getting into the market, I'm just not going to jump in here. What can I see? Nothing to trade off. Maybe a double cross on the pivots. So close down here, then get a bull bar. We could trade that, That's about the only thing I can see at the moment, mate, until we break resistance. So you're looking to trade it up. Okay. What's your analysis? Why are you seeing maybe the base here, looking for a higher low on the smaller time frames? I can get with that. But that's about all I can get with, really, because we're coming off the top of that. I'm a bear, mate. I'm a bear. But as I continue to say, if you've got a setup that suits your eye, then why not? You know, what I'm looking for is it to come back to here. So maybe there is a small time frame long in there somewhere. I think we said that about, someone asked me yesterday, was it CAD Swiss? Might have been CAD Swiss. Because I said the only thing I could see was a long to here and get out. I was wrong. I didn't see that level at that point. I can't remember. Somebody did ask me about that yesterday, but they asked me here, and it did go down to the bottom of that and then go on to the top. Now we're back exactly where I thought the get out point would be. So maybe there is a long in here, mate, but I wouldn't be hanging on to it for too long. I can't see the trade yet, I've got to say, but I see the level you're talking about. I get that, but I think it's only a very short-term one, and I don't have a setup there. So that's about it for me, mate, I think.
Okay. All right. Fantastic.
So the week's off to a fairly decent start.
Yeah, great. Good, very good start to the week so far. We got pounds profit. Yesterday's FTSE. I don't think anybody's taken today's FTSE, but there's still an opportunity to go long, in my opinion, on the FTSE today, and it just depends on whether people want to take part in that or not. And we'll see where we end up. But we got a bit more data kind of creeping out through today. I think there's some speakers later on and some stuff tomorrow as well. So we got Governor Bailey speaking later on for the UK. A couple of FOMC members tomorrow as well, and CPI data from the UK. So the week is building up really to a crescendo by the looks of things of Friday, when we get some manufacturing numbers from both the US and Europe as well. So don't see the catalyst for downside just yet, but it could still come. That's what we're really waiting for and looking out for. So still long right now, mate, but there looks to be a little bit of nervousness out there.
Yep. At least that'll create some opportunities for short-term trades, I would imagine. If I'm in front of the charts, which I rarely am after the show these days, which is a shame, then I'll have a look at them. But I'll keep my eye on that CAD Swissy, because everybody seems to be all over that, except me. But my bias is short, medium term anyway. See how we go.
Fantastic stuff. All right, buddy. Well, thank you to you as always. Thank you to Shukri. Thank you to Angel. And thank you to the guys in the room. We will see you tomorrow, same time, same trade channel.
Cheers, trading buddies. Thanks for being on board, Jaira. Thank you for your input. We did find a little trade there on, what was it?
Oh, you know what? We must also say,
I can't remember the bloody cross now. Yeah.
I always forget to just to remind everybody to hit the like button and the subscribe as well on YouTube. And it's something that, we always forget to say and do, but actually it really helps push us up in YouTube's rankings, which means that we can get more and more trading buddies on board as well. So yeah, if you like the show, then hit the like button. That would really help us out.
And also, did anybody win the Euro dollar contest last week? Don't forget that's there as well, the Euro dollar contest. I'm sure tomorrow that Angel will put that link in for us so that you can join the where's the Euro dollar going to be this week, and we'll give our opinion. We were kind of okay if we had closed on Friday at lunchtime, Ash. We would have been right, or very close.
Oh,
there
really?
too. Yeah, I think where do we get to?
I can't remember what our predictions were.
You were 120.80 and I was 120.66.
Where did they get to?
Actually, Friday morning would have been okay. Friday morning it opened at 120.70, so it was right between you and I. Unfortunately, the day took place and put in a what they call those big ring low, don't they? There was a key for
Morning Star, yeah. Gyro won, Angel's saying.
Oh, did he? Awesome.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Well done, mate.
Good on you, buddy.
Well
Okay. So Gyra's got enough money to play with this week. Well, not kind of. And there's the link in there for you guys to tell us where the euro dollar is going to be at close of trade Friday, close of the week. Currently bang on 12200, which is interesting. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for your company. Cheers, Ash.
Cheers, buddy.
Bye-bye.